You know the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? When it comes to people, that's pretty true. When it comes to books, it's kinda not. Hello, my name's Jeffrey, and today we're gonna judge some books by their covers. Mainly mine. That's right, this is the Progeny of God's cover reveal. But it's been a long time coming, my God. I feel like I've been working on this cover for months, and I have been, for like, oh my God, since the fall. Because I know how important it is. I know that people do judge books by their covers. So do I. It's not a bad thing, it's just normal. And my mighty task was to get my self-published book to not look like a self-published book. That's been my MO this whole time, and I can't fail with the cover. So, let's talk about what I wanted on the cover, some features. First off, it had to be green, because it's my favorite color, and it has so much to do with the book, it's not even funny. It just had to be green. Plus, there aren't that many book covers that are green. Next, it had to be eye-catching. I wanted it to sit on a shelf, and I wanted your eyes to go directly there, to my book. Now, being part of BookTube, I see a lot of bookshelves, and my eyes usually always gravitate towards I think they're the British version of Harry Potter books, because they have two tones in them, either yellow and red, or blue and yellow, or whatever. For some reason, my eyes go right there. So I'm like, okay, it's gotta have two tones. Two tones of green, maybe? And it needs to have an eye-catching design. Maybe I'll wrap it so that it's on the front and the back and the spine all together. And then when all my books in the series line up, it'll make a cool design. But what design? And then it kind of came to me. It was under my nose all along. My old iPhone has this cover, and it always got complimented. Like, oh, what a cool cover. I'm like, oh, I know, it is cool, isn't it? And it's because it's this cool, like crazy design with the lines that are different sizes and they're all going everywhere. So I'm like, that's it, I gotta have this. This is eye-catching, for sure. Next, I prefer it to have this symbol, my tattoo, which is very special to me. I got this my freshman year in college. It is a symbol for my book. It represents life and growth, protection, and in my world there are many gods, and this symbol pertains to the goddess of Earth, the element, not the planet. Yeah, it's just very special to me, very special to this one book. It reminds me of childhood, and because I made it when I was a child, and I wanted it to be on the cover. I also wanted some kind of hint to Kingdom Hearts, because
you walk away, you don't hear me say, please, oh baby, don't go.
My book has so much to do with Kingdom Hearts, the way it makes me feel, at least, and with the darkness and the light. I wanted that. And what I like most about Kingdom Hearts is that on a lot of the covers, you know, there's this anime trope going on that, you know, the characters are always like falling or something, and I just really like that. So I'm like, I gotta have that on my cover too. But that's a little too much. Didn't really work. So I nixed the symbol and I just went for the falling man, because I thought that might be a little more intriguing. And this is the first cover I came up with. Boom! Oh, and the font I made also myself from this cool site called Fontstruct. I'll leave it below if you're interested. I mean, it's a simplistic feeling for sure, you know, minimalism, but I don't know, I liked it for a while because the lines are very eye-catching, but it also seemed a little Microsoft Paint. So that wasn't gonna really graduate me from the self-publishing level. And I showed it around to a lot of people and I wasn't getting the wows. I mean, the cover needs to wow. And it wowed for me, but you know, as I started getting these other opinions, the wow factor really started to drop and I started to see other people's opinions. It's very important to take other people's opinions seriously. You can ignore the first 5, But once that 6th rolls around, you should start seriously take, like, you might be wrong and you might have to seriously take their opinion. So I thought, what am I going to do? I was set on this for a long time, and then like a month ago, I decided this isn't gonna work. So, I mean, I still like it, but what can be, maybe more detail. And there's a lot, religion's obviously a big part of the book too. So I thought, okay, epic. This also Kingdom Heartsy, stained glass. I'll make it all stained glass. Boom. You see, I got everything here. The font's a little more crazy. I'm getting a kind of a girl with a dragon tattoo feeling. I still got that light coming out of the dude's chest. And this took flippin' forever to cut out all these. I literally had to cut out all these stained glass pieces. It's standing right here, actually. Voila, I took pictures of this really up close. I mean, it's stained glass. But it wasn't the exact shade of green I needed, so I needed to cut out all the pieces, and I still needed to dye them all. It was like really building a stained glass window. It took me forever. And you know, I thought it would be cool, but then you never know until it's done, and you look at it, and you're like, I just wasted a month of my life. It's cool, but it's still not wow. It's still, it's more confusing now almost. So I'm like, ugh. I had an artist do a drawing for me because in my world there are trees that are 7 miles tall, and a big part of the setting takes place in one particular tree called Darkin. And I'm like, draw it for me. Or paint it for me rather, but it has to look like it's 7 miles tall. And I changed up the texture of the font a little bit to look like wood, with some lines cut in it to have glowing amber from within, and this is what we came up with. This was getting a lot better responses from people, especially older people. You know, it's kind of got that fantasy feeling, but the thing about my book is it's completely 50-50 fantasy and sci-fi, modern. I showed it to my editor, who's the only person that's read the modern version of the books so far. And she's like, it's good, but it doesn't capture the tone of your book. And I'm like, you're totally right, because it just doesn't. I mean, my book is so much more magical than this cover portrays. It's so much more modern, so much more fun, so much more everything than this cover portrays. This looks boring to me. I mean, I got the idea from my version of The Hobbit. It sets the feel and the tone of the book really well, but my book doesn't read like The Hobbit does. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And then it kind of just set in. From the beginning I wanted my symbol on the cover, because, you know, the next book would have a different symbol on the cover, and eventually we'd get all the symbols of all the gods on the covers, which I thought would be really cool. But these covers that I had made so far were all neglecting that. So I decided to take it back to my roots, take it back to my original vision, and kind of combine all of the previous covers together. Maybe make my symbol out of stained glass and put this image of Darkin behind it, but also make it eye-catching and harken back to Kingdom Hearts. I put all these elements together, I stepped back, and I was just like, whoa. So here it is. Finally, we have a cover for Progeny of Gods, Tome 1, Virtuum and Destiny. Notice, there is no title on this cover. I just don't want it on the cover. It's so much cleaner and cooler with it off, because instead of focusing on that, I just want them to feel what this book feels like. And it is this magical cover. Epicness and stars, Boris and green and divine intervention and just absolutely everything rolled into one. That is what my book feels like to read, and that is what my cover should reflect. And it's such a relief to finally discover this in front of me all along. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think. We are getting very close to the release date now. Very close to my dream becoming a reality. Let's take a look at our trusty to-do list, shall we? Editing, done. Copy editing, done. Cover, done. Formatting, that took way longer than I thought it would, but I did it. I ended up doing it myself, actually. I downloaded InDesign and did it all myself. And it could only have been done myself. I would have been really anal about having somebody else do it, and I would have micromanaging, it would have cost me way too much money. So I just did it myself. It took me 3 or 4 days, non-stop days. Like, we're talking starting at 9 a.m. and going until 3 a.m. Just staring at a computer screen, formatting everything, making sure the words would break at the right times, putting in all of my symbols, because the book is filled with these symbols, and putting in all of my page breaks, and putting in my font that I made as the chapter titles, and just everything, micromanaging everything. Very controlling when it comes to this. I mean, I just have to do it myself or I won't be happy. Anyway, it's done now. The book has been sent to the printer, and it will be in my hands next week. Next week! Oh my god, okay. I've ordered 100 advanced reader copies to send out to media folk and booktubers like you. I have 100 though, so I have to be a little selective about the physical copies I give to people. Figuring out my stuff with Amazon will be next. I'm not doing CreateSpace anymore. I'll talk about how I'll be distributing it in a later video. And then we're on to marketing. My marketing plan is literally starting next week too. I've hired a publicist, you know that. And I've made a lot of friends on BookTube that all believe in me just as much as I believe in myself, maybe more. Oh hey, editing this right now, realized I was a complete douchebag. I forgot to thank each and every one of you. And as thanks to anyone who's ever watched one of my videos, wrote a comment, or pushed the subscribe button, you will all be getting free ebooks just to show you guys how much you mean to me. Thank you, everyone. I love you all. I seriously do. You've made this journey for me so much more fun than it would have been. You know, everyone's been so freaking positive. And whenever I doubted myself, I just go to the YouTube comments and get reinvigorated. So as a thank you, I want to give you all free ebooks. Yes, you deserve it. The audiobook, speaking of next week, I'll be in New York when I actually get the copies because BookCon is going on that weekend, May 30th, 31st. I will be there. If you guys will be there, please come talk to me. I'll be handing out the advanced reader copies to anyone that wants one. But before the weekend, so May 25th through the 30th, I will be in the recording studio recording my audiobook. The same recording studio that did Harry Potter and like a whole bunch of other famous people. I will be in there recording my book. Oh my god, cannot wait. It's gonna be so exciting and brutal because you just have to talk for hours straight just staring at an iPad, so, but it'll be fun. Graphic novel, don't want to talk about that yet, but hey. And YouTube, obviously, have the most up-to-date information about everything Progeny of Gods. Please subscribe. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you guys soon.